very busy tomorrow with some of my children's stuff, so a day earlier with my live. Usually I'm with you on Wednesday evenings. So today we are going to continue the theme of Migrant Lives Matter, and as you may have seen recently, that from our Facebook page and from our YouTube channel, we've been doing lots of live streams. We have been sharing stories with you of many migrants, migrants who have been excluded from the one-off residence visa 2021, including migrants who are stranded offshore, families who remain separated, students, second, third time students who were doing all the right things, following all the rules, and came to a roadblock, and the only option they had was go back to studying. So, all these people, they've been excluded from this new residence visa that was announced end of last month, while not last month, the month before now, 30th of September it was announced. So while we feel it's a victory, a partial victory, that all this hard work that many organizations, many individuals, activists have been doing has finally paid off, that so many people will gain residency, but at the same time we have left a significant number of people behind. So it is our motivation, our focus, that we keep shining the light on those people so that they are not forgotten. So today I have a guest with me. I have Minu joining us today. So welcome to the show, Minu.
Thank you so much for having me, Anu, ma'am.
Thank you for taking time out, and thank you for joining us. Some of you may have seen Minu quite active on social media, on Facebook. So the group that Rachel Swan and a few others started together, people impacted by the 2021 resident visa. So I am in a minute going to ask Minu to share her situation and her journey, her immigration journey here in New Zealand. And Minu is one of those people who has been working quite hard behind the scenes to keep others motivated, to keep other people's morale up, so that we don't lose hope and we don't give up. So Minu, tell our viewers, our listeners, when and how you and your husband, I believe, arrived in New Zealand.
Thank you for having me, first of all, and being the voice of so many. It's commendable what you're doing to begin with.
Thank you.
I actually came to New Zealand all by myself in 2015 to study. And my only motive was to just study, get some international exposure, get some work experience if possible, and then go back to my country, because I was already nearly 32 when I came to the country. And I had an established career. I was taking a sabbatical to upskill myself, and I was doing pretty well in my career wherever I was in India. And then I wanted to simply get some qualification and go back.
Right.
This is precisely what I did.
Okay, I think there must
Life was absolutely what I expected it to be.
Right. We just keep losing you every now and then. I'm just wondering whether it's your net where you are, but keep going, or maybe it's me here.
Okay. Yep. Right. Sorry about that.
No, that's all good. Yeah, keep going.
So it's basically I had a great experience. I finished my qualification in 2016. I went back home for Diwali, and there because I wanted to also go back in terms of to check in as to with what is the plan forward. Do I want to go back? Do I want to settle in India? What do I want to do? Because I had a job waiting for me back in India already.
Right.
So when I went back, I was approached by an international market entry firm within the sector I was in. And I started working with them in a couple of months because I took a break and then I started working with them for a couple of months. And I was doing fantastic in terms of my career
Okay.
when something unexpected happened when an organization in Australia headhunted me to head their education wing here in New Zealand.
Right.
So I was elated, happy, confused. I didn't know what to do, but
Yeah.
I took a leap of faith
Right.
and jumped on the plane because my post-study work visa was still valid. And I came to New Zealand to start this new journey. We both wanted to make a life, in a place where it was, where we could find clean air, and because as we were aging, there was an urge to nest
Yeah.
naturally. So
Yeah.
we wanted to call a place home, which was one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So I started working with them to settle into the place, and my husband he started to upskill himself. He enrolled himself in a certificate program in AUT alongside, because he wanted to obviously get acquainted to the culture before
Yeah.
he could find himself something. So while I was working, I realized and I started inquiring about my options. I came across an LIA who recommended that I was just about 70 cents away in terms of my salary
Right.
from the high income threshold. So 70 cents.
Yeah.
So which I thought, I can talk to my bosses. I'm doing pretty well. I've done some excellent job which they are proud of. So I will go talk to them, and which this is what exactly I did. I was due to travel for an education conference in Sydney. So I was supposed to meet everybody there, and then I thought I'll go and discuss. I
Yeah.
went, everything happened. They agreed to give me 70 cents. By the time I flew back, the threshold moved.
Oh, yeah. As always is the way
So
with
the
so many of us.
goalposts
Yeah.
moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, so still I thought, not a big deal. It's all good. I will just, probably there's more to it. And then my LI in-house said that, don't worry about it. You complete 2 years because you do not have a master's degree. You have a graduate diploma. So you just need a little bit of more, about 10, 20 more points and you'll make it. So I said, okay, fine. I'll work for another couple of months and then I'll, probably meet the threshold of 2 years and get those points and I'll make it.
Right.
So I don't know if it is my hard luck or the complexity of the immigration system here in New Zealand. My organization, specifically the New Zealand division, became a franchisee. Now
Right.
that's another bit of New Zealand immigration system wherein there is a lot of difficulty when you're working with a franchisee, even though you're contributing immensely. And then the new management wanted to relocate me into a role which was not really matching in terms of the salary. It wasn't really matching with my visa conditions.
Right.
So I decided to look out, and I decided to look out in the similar industry. And to my luck, I found another job. And my now job where I'm working currently, I finished the 2 years of 2 year threshold. I thought,
Yep.
this is it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to put my EOI. Finally, I have arrived. So with that kind of a feeling, 26th of March 2020 is when I lodged my EOI. So I don't think I need to say anything
Yeah.
more after that,
Yeah.
because that was the queue. That was the, I'm probably in the top of the queue,
Some.
because
Yeah.
after 18th or 19th of March, the draw never happened.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, uh, so I've been waiting for 19 months, and then since I work in an industry which is heavily dependent upon the borders, so now the borders are shut, and my only market was onshore market. So I still kept my head down, thinking that something miraculously will change my fate and we will eventually get to where we want to get to. So I kept working. I did really well despite all the, adversities. Onshore market also treated me really well and things were going great. Um, until the announcement happened.
Right.
And he
Sorry, we kind of lost you.
2021, and
Yeah.
I decided decided to become his partner.
Right.
And I got my hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yeah, I think it's a problem with the internet at my end. So
Hello.
yeah, yep. Yeah. Please
Sorry.
continue. Yeah, please continue.
So everything changed overnight for us because my husband decided in September, and I decided to switch my visa from an essential skills visa to partnership based visa, and my visa came on 13th of September 2021. So precisely 2 weeks before the
Yeah,
announcement.
yeah,
So
yeah.
things have been difficult since because each time we were closer to the threshold,
Hmm.
each time we were closer to the goalpost, and it got moved.
Yeah, it's
Um,
yeah, it's just the unfairness of it. It's tragic, and yeah, and this is not recent. Many migrants have suffered over the years. I would say over the last decade or so, many people have suffered like this. You know that the pay rates go up, and then the points from 140 to 160, and then now this. Yeah. I think I don't need to tell you, Minu. Like you are going through this firsthand. Yeah, it's
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And it's I don't know. It's absolutely I cannot think of any other adjective other than absurd that, when we are dealing with immigration policies, we need to be mindful of human rights of people, because here we are not just dealing with slaves. We are
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
place
Yeah.
uh, call this place home, whether it is temporarily or long term. It's their decision, and you have accepted them with with open hands by granting them a visa. So they've not just come in a boat and called this place home. They have applied
Yeah.
lawfully, have been gone through the processes they had to, and then they have called this uh, place home because they want to live here and they want to contribute.
Yeah,
For that
absolutely.
matter, this announcement of 1,65,000, it just came of nowhere. In my opinion, this is absolutely not thought through, and it's a very rushed policy, and they did not even think about the impact of it on the international education industry, which is nearly a $4 to $5 billion industry.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at it, I have a few friends in the industry. Lecturers are losing their jobs. People who are in the marketing divisions, they have already left.
Yeah.
So private colleges have shut down already. Universities are breathing heavy. I individuals like myself who are connected with this industry are basically, this is like a two-faced sword for us.
Yeah.
So one way we have lost one opportunity to call this place home, and on the other hand, we're also sort of suffering in terms of our careers.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, and I feel your pain. It's yeah. I think in terms of resolving this, the solutions are quite simple and straightforward, and then it wouldn't take a lot of effort on the minister's part, and it wouldn't actually upset anyone either. We are talking about people who are already here, migrants who've been here. I mean, in the last few weeks or last year or so, I've met or come to know so many people who've been here 5 years, nearly 10 years, have children born here. And this is home, especially, families with children. Those children were born here. They go to school here. They don't know anywhere else as home. So to extend this new visa to everybody who's been here, I would say 3 years or more, that 3-year thing, 821 days, extend it to everybody, including those who are stranded offshore. It's not a huge ask. And also, I think by doing that, the minister, the government would be killing a few birds with one stone. Not only will it help the migrants, it will also alleviate a lot of pressures on government departments like Immigration New Zealand, and then other departments within MB. For example, the migrant exploitation. There are so many complaints, and the Employment Relations Authority and other units are so overworked and under-resourced. So it helps a lot of deals with a lot of problems. And also the big reset that this government wants to do for immigration, it gives them a breathing space. It gives them time to do the reset properly as well. So it's a win-win-win. I don't see any downsides if they extend this visa to all who've been here for the last 3 years. And I'll stress that all who meet the basic character and health requirements, obviously. So, yeah. Look, Minu, before we let you go, what would you like to say to the government, to the minister? What is your request? What is your plea?
Before I finish for the day, I would just like to say that much before I say my ask to the government, I would like to say that I feel for the offshore migrants as well, as much as I feel for myself and my fellow campaigners here campaigning onshore, because I was in India for a business trip, and I came back to the country 2 weeks prior to the lockdown.
Wow, that was lucky.
I would have been in the similar situation. So if you look at it, it shouldn't be based on luck factor, honestly, because so if I could have been in their situation, and this is horrible that something like this is happening to families and they're separated and they can't come back to their homes. And considering the situation we are all in, my only question to the government is, personally, can they give me back my prime years?
Yeah. Exactly.
If not, I, along with my fellow campaigners, demand expansion of the eligibility criteria for all onshore and offshore migrants, irrespective of their visa categories.
Very well said. I mean, that is an absolutely reasonable ask. That's what needs to happen. Otherwise, we are exposing people who've been left out of this visa category. We are exposing them to all sorts of, their mental stress, financial stress, anxiety, and not to name exploitation. These will be the migrants who are now going to be super exploited. So, all sorts of risks that we are exposing them to.
Absolutely. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for giving me this platform to, have a voice.
Thank you very much, Minu. You are welcome to share your thoughts, your ideas anytime you like, and others like yourself who are suffering and have been excluded. We will try to accommodate each and every person. It may take a little while. So thank you very much. And thank you for all the work that you've been doing recently and with Rachel and others. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks. Goodbye. That was Minu, who is like many of our migrants, has been excluded from the one-off residence visa 2021. It is our heartfelt effort that we will keep bringing these stories to you all. Because the big problem at the moment is, due to all things COVID related, it is near impossible to get these things out in media. It is just so difficult. I know you will still be seeing the odd story in media, but this should be en masse. So that's why we try to do whatever we can. And also with the last two sessions we did were with the migrants who are stuck offshore. I think I may have to do another session, which we will make it like an open session. I will just post the Zoom meeting link on Migrant Workers Association Facebook page and group and our usual places, so that anybody and everybody can join within the restrictions of Zoom meetings, I suppose. So I'm not going to take too much more of your time because, we're just mindful that we also pace ourselves and don't burn out. So that's why I only had Minu today. Normally I can quite easily interview two or three people. I did reach out to actually a couple of others as well, and they just haven't responded. Sometimes people do feel quite, I guess it can be quite intimidating if you're not used to speaking publicly, or if you're not used to being in the public domain. It's kind of putting yourself out there and exposing all and sharing things that are usually quite personal and close to yourself. So I can understand, even though those people had contacted us volunteering that, they're sharing their situation and then going as far as saying like, we're willing to go public with this, but that's okay. We understand it. It can be quite intimidating and off-putting, but in your own sweet time, I know you will you will want to share. So yeah, on another note, with the visa itself and the eligibility criteria, a lot of people have been contacting us through Migrant Workers Association as an organization that has been fighting for migrant workers' rights and fighting to get better immigration policies, and also other sort of routes as well. So what I have kind of seen overwhelmingly, I've actually got a list of questions that another one of our wonderful volunteers, who herself is a temporary migrant here and who herself is not going to, at the moment, is excluded from this one-off residency visa 2021, and she's been to just about every protest we've organized in the last year or two. So she's been very sweet, and she's been kind enough to compile a long list of questions for me. So I will have to have another session where I go through all of those questions and answer, provide answers wherever I can. So I'll have to do a separate session for that. But just a very quick 5 minutes. I think you all know the eligibility criteria, but even with the people who are eligible, I am getting quite a lot of queries from people who have character issues, I guess, mostly driving related offences, either drink driving or overspeeding. So guys, it kind of really disappoints me and breaks my heart. Here we have thousands and thousands of people who are not eligible because they're on a different visa, and here we have people who tick all the boxes, but because they've been, I'm going to be cruel now, and I say because they've been careless and not taken care of their own safety and safety of other people on the roads, now they kind of face the situation. So it's just not really it's not appropriate and not good enough. Why should you put yourself, especially why should you put others at risk? So anyway, we will work through those matters and see what can be done. Obviously, driving offences are frowned upon by Immigration New Zealand. That was one of the big ones. The other big one that actually is even more queries than the driving offences is mostly from people within the Indian subcontinent. So the big problem, I'm pretty sure a lot of you would have seen this on Facebook as well, people posting questions in different groups where people have their name or their date of birth slightly different on their birth certificate to their passport and all their other certificates. Now, I think these people are mostly from the Indian subcontinent. Now, it's I think it's a trait that we have, unfortunately, where maybe it's not considered so important to, where a family member who may have gone to register a baby's birth and they got the date out by a day or two. And then I don't know how that doesn't get corrected. Sort of at the time, the child is then enrolled at school and university and subsequently, and it's, I guess it just gets left and not corrected and not picked up. But now mostly with residence applications, just submitting a passport is not enough. You do have to provide a birth certificate as well. So lots and lots of people have been asking that question, not just of us, but I see it everywhere on social media too. And another one is names. How the name is, spellings are slightly different from the birth certificate to the passport and the certificates. For example, it's quite common in the place I come from, it's quite common to change, say if somebody's called Harjeet, you can spell it Harjwet or Harjit. Now, to me, that is the same name. Same for Mandeep. It can be Mandip or Mandeep. Sarabjit. So, lots of names, which we North Indians or people from the regions know that, we have more than one way of spelling the same name. So I've had queries with that as well. My passport says Sarabjit, Jit, but my birth certificate says Sarabjit, Jwet. So what happens in that situation? So so I called the Immigration New Zealand contact centre to ask, and straight away the person at the other end of the phone was like, so are most of these people from India? So I think they've been getting a lot of queries regarding this as well. So what they told me was that people would need to go back to the issuing authority in their home countries where the birth certificates were issued and get the dates or the names corrected there. Now, next problem that we know in some of the countries that we come from, it can take forever and ever and ever. So, and I know some people will have to apply by 1st of December, others will have more time by 1st of March. So I am still working through this issue. And as and when I have another answer, an alternative, another solution, I will share it with you. And I'm sure other LIAs, advisors and lawyers will also be getting these questions, and they will have answers too. I'm not saying that I'm the only person with the answers. So if you already have a lawyer or an advisor, please, I'm sure you will have asked this anyway. So those are kind of the main, and the third one that I've also been getting is people who are here in New Zealand and they tick all the boxes, but because they were caught out of New Zealand due to the border closure, they don't quite make the 821 days because they were stuck out of New Zealand, not their fault. So that, again, I will be seeking guidance and advice for that as well. I don't know the answer yet as to what would happen there. Excuse me. I know in the last webinar that was held by Immigration New Zealand with the advisors and the lawyers about this new visa category, they did say that no changes will be made to the instructions, that there will be no exception. But we are due another webinar on, I think it's the 12th of November, not this Friday, the Friday after, about this visa category. So hopefully they will have more detail for us. And I know last time when the webinar was announced, a lot of people who are excluded from the visa category were like, okay, ask them. But that is not the right forum, guys. That Immigration New Zealand does not change policy, does not make policy. They get the policy made by the government, the parliament, and then they just follow it. So, if you expect us, the advisors and the lawyers, to request changes from Immigration New Zealand in these webinars, that is just not we can't do that, and we would be wasting our time, their time as well. So those webinars are for us to get clarification around the application process, around eligibility process, so all operational matters. So on during the webinar that's on 12th of November, we will all be asking these questions. So we will do our best. In the meantime, please keep talking about your situations. I know at the moment there are so many restrictions. We can't take to the streets. We can't hold public meetings. It's mostly online. So even there, please keep writing. And I know the group, I always forget their name. So the group that Minu is in, and Rachel Swan is in, and few others as well. I think it's Impacted 2021 something. So you guys did a tweetathon at the weekend, and that was really, really good. That's a really creative, good effort where all of you who are excluded, you had made your own signs, your own messages, and you took photos, and I think there were even some short videos too, and I've been watching that over the weekend. So really, really brilliant effort. Well done, guys. So let's keep doing that sort of stuff until the COVID related lockdown restrictions lift, and we are actually able to meet in person and do stuff in person together. So let's keep going with that, and don't lose hope. Please don't give up. We will keep trying. Let's stay together in this and keep trying. And like Minu put it so wonderfully, she was so articulate that, it is so important to feel each other's pain. She was like, she was out of New Zealand and came back just 2 weeks before the borders were closed. And that kind of makes her realize and feel the pain of those who are stranded offshore. That is just sign of being human, sign of being alive, having empathy and being able to empathize and sympathize with others. That is just absolutely so important. And this divide of onshore, offshore, that is not the doing of migrants themselves. That is just how the broken immigration system has created it. So let's not add to that division. Let's not perpetuate that division. We should be coming together. And most of the messages that we've had at Migrant Workers Association from those who are stranded offshore have been so sweet, where, nearly every message starts out with, this is wonderful, this is so good that, so many people are going to benefit from this. And then they go on to tell their own story. So that is very, very big of you guys. You are in so much pain, and yet you are still able to maintain that element of being human. So that's very good. It's important. Let's stick to that. And I could just go on and on talking about this, how I am so impressed by all of you staying strong and hanging on in there and doing the work, doing the mahi, despite everything around you being quite hopeless and in despair at times. So well done, guys. And we will meet again very soon, maybe next Wednesday next week, unless there is a session earlier, which we will let you know about. So thank you very much for taking time out to join myself and to join Minu, and thanks again, Minu. A brave person there, sharing everything about her own pain and also sympathizing with others. Thank you very much, and good evening. Stay safe, stay strong.